Okay, let's dive right in. We all know that work, even a job you generally like, can sometimes feel like, oh, a bit of a grind, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's that feeling where, the day-to-day stuff just starts to wear you down. Even if the core work is interesting, you feel a bit stretched, maybe disconnected.
Exactly. So what we want to do today is focus on some really simple, actionable things you can do to feel happier at work, like this week.
Right. We're not talking huge life changes here. No career overhaul.
No, this is all based on insights from happiness expert Phil Gerbyshak, specifically his article, 5 Simple Ways to Be Happier at Work This Week. It's about those small tweaks, those little shifts.
Precisely. Think of them as small adjustments you can make in your routine and your mindset that can actually add up to a genuinely better feeling about your work life.
Okay, so first up from Phil's list is this idea. Start your day with a win. Now, win sounds big, but that's not really what he means here, is it?
Not at all. It's not about, landing a huge client before 9 a.m. The idea is much simpler. It's about deliberately not diving straight into the email avalanche or the urgent fires first thing.
Okay.
Instead, Gerbyshak suggests starting with something super quick, an easy task you can knock out in, say, under 5 minutes.
And there's a reason why this works, something about our brain chemistry. Dopamine.
Yeah, that's exactly it. When you complete even a small task, your brain releases a little bit of dopamine. That's the chemical linked to, pleasure, motivation, feeling rewarded.
Huh. So it's like a little mood boost right at the start.
Exactly. And that initial positive feeling, it sort of sets the tone. It builds momentum. You start the day feeling like you've already accomplished something instead of feeling behind from the get-go.
Okay, that makes sense. And he gives some really concrete examples, right? Like firing off a quick reply you've been meaning to send.
Yeah, or finally tidying up that cluttered computer desktop. We all have that one.
Definitely.
Or even just taking a minute to actually write down like your top 3 priorities for the day. Simple things.
Super doable. The key seems to be that it's quick, easy, and give you that feeling of, okay, done.
You shouldn't add stress. It should feel satisfying. A small win to set a positive trajectory.
So for everyone listening, here's the action item from Gerbyshak. Tomorrow morning, before you open your email, pick one tiny thing. Just one. Do it. Finish it. And just see if it shifts how your morning feels.
It's a surprisingly powerful little technique for taking back control of your morning vibe.
All right, strategy number 2. Connect with a colleague. This one feels really fundamental, that human need to, belong.
It really is. We spend so much of our lives with colleagues, but it's still easy to feel a bit siloed sometimes. Gerbyshak stresses that this isn't about needing deep hour-long heart-to-hearts.
Right, not necessarily big, deep talks.
No, it's more about intentionally creating those small moments of, real human connection, a bit of warmth. It's about nurturing those ties at work.
Those little interactions that just remind you you're part of a team, not just, working alone in a void.
Precisely, just acknowledging someone's effort, maybe offering a genuine compliment, or even a simple, hey, how's it going? These things have a ripple effect. Good for them, good for you.
It builds a more supportive atmosphere, doesn't it?
Definitely. And the action item he suggests is brilliant in its simplicity. He says, just send a quick message today, something like, hey, just wanted to say you're doing great work. I really appreciate working with you.
And the key part is no hidden agenda, right? No ask.
Exactly. That's crucial. It's not transactional. It's just pure, simple kindness and recognition. That proactive element is important too, making the connection happen.
You can really picture how receiving a message like that could just brighten someone's day. And it strengthens the relationship too.
Absolutely. These little acts build trust, improve communication, and just make the whole work environment feel, more pleasant and collaborative for everyone.
Okay, moving to number 3. Take a joy break. I really like this one. It's not just any break.
No, the key word is joy. It's about deliberately scheduling short breaks specifically for something that genuinely brings you pleasure and helps you mentally recharge.
So not just scrolling through news feeds necessarily.
Not unless that genuinely brings you joy. Gerbyshak points out these breaks, even short ones, are vital for improving focus, lifting your mood, and, importantly, preventing burnout. It's like proactive energy management.
And he says you need to treat it seriously, like put it in your calendar, make it non-negotiable.
Yes, exactly. Blocking it out makes it real. It's a commitment to your own well-being. It signals that this time matters, fighting that always-on culture.
The examples are great too. A short walk outside, maybe some quick stretches,
Listening to music you love or, yeah, watching a funny video, he specifically mentions dog videos.
which is always a good recommendation. So finding those little pockets to completely switch off from work and just feel good for a minute.
The key is it should be something you personally enjoy and that lets you mentally reset, even if it's just for a few minutes.
Right, so the action item here. This week, actually block out 15 minutes in your calendar each day. Label it joy break, and then, actually take it.
Treat it like any other important meeting. And be intentional. Do something that genuinely sparks a bit of joy and lets you disconnect.
Okay, fourth strategy, practice progress, not perfection. Oof, this one can be tough, especially when standards feel really high.
Oh, absolutely. That constant striving for perfection, it can be a huge source of stress, a real happiness killer, as Gerbyshak calls it.
Yeah, it leads to anxiety, maybe even putting things off because you're afraid it won't be perfect.
Exactly. And harsh self-criticism. It really gets in the way of just appreciating the work you were doing. It kind of stifles that growth mindset, too.
It's so easy to focus only on what's not quite right yet.
Precisely. So the shift Gerbyshak suggests is to consciously, deliberately acknowledge the forward movement, celebrate the progress, even the small steps.
Recognize the effort, the fact that you're moving forward, not just fixating on some flawless end state.
Right. And he makes a great point. When you acknowledge progress, you actually allow yourself to enjoy the process more, not just wait for the finish line.
That's a big shift in perspective, celebrating the journey, not just the destination.
It builds positive momentum, reduces that fear of messing up. It's much more encouraging.
So the action for this week,
Yeah.
at the end of each day, take literally 1 minute and write down one thing, just one that you made progress on.
Doesn't have to be finished, doesn't have to be perfect, just something you moved forward.
That simple reflection sounds like it could be really powerful over time, recognizing those small wins.
It really reinforces that progress itself is valuable, worth noticing.
Okay, finally, number 5, create a micro moment of meaning. This is about finding the why in your work, right? Even in the small stuff.
Yes, it's easy to get lost in the weeds, the daily tasks, and lose sight of the bigger picture or why your work matters. Gerbyshak reminds us that meaning doesn't have to be, saving the world.
It could be smaller scale.
Much smaller. It could be helping out a colleague, solving one customer's problem, or even just getting to use a skill you really enjoy using.
So it's about actively looking for those little sparks, those reminders of the value you bring.
Exactly. Consciously noticing those moments that give you a sense of contribution or satisfaction.
Yeah.
These little micro moments can really combat feelings of just going through the motions.
It gives examples like getting a thank you email, or that feeling when you finally crack a tough problem.
Or using a skill you're proud of. These small things, when you notice them, add up. They connect your daily tasks back to a sense of purpose.
Okay, so the action item for this one is a bit more reflective. At the end of this week, maybe Friday afternoon, take a moment, ask yourself, what's one moment this week that reminded me why I do what I do?
And Phil encourages really sitting with that moment. Savor the feeling, maybe even write it down somewhere.
It's about training yourself to see and appreciate the meaning that's already there.
It strengthens that connection to purpose and makes the whole experience feel more significant.
So that's the 5. 5 pretty straightforward ideas from Phil Gerbyshak to inject a bit more happiness into your work week, starting, well, right now.
Yeah, the core message seems to be that happiness at work isn't this huge elusive thing. It's built through these small, consistent, intentional practices, daily choices.
Exactly. Those small moments really can add up and shift your whole experience.
So we'd really encourage everyone listening, pick one, or maybe try all 5 this week, see what resonates.
New it sticks. They're designed to be easy to weave into your day.
Definitely not meant to add more overwhelm.
Right. And Phil actually ends his piece with a great question for reflection. So we'll leave you, the listener, with this. What's one specific thing you are going to commit to doing this week to bring a little more joy into your workday?
Give that some thought. Maybe pick the strategy that jumped out at you the most and think about how you can apply it. Thanks for tuning into this deep dive with us.